We've all become very cognizant of Jack and his story, and when Alibaba went public with the largest IPO in history, we knew a lot more about him. So I want to talk about his personal story. I want to talk about how many times he tried and failed and what kept him going. I want to talk about where he is today and how he got here. I begin with this question though, Jack. Why are you back at Davos? It's a long break for 7 years. I think my last trip here was in year 2008. But I was coming for the year 2001 for the Young Global Leader for Tomorrow. And I think I remember I never heard about Davos when I came. But when I came, there's Switzerland, so many young people demonstrated. It was such a horrible scene that, and I asked them, what are they doing? And they said, anti-globalization. And I said, why? Globalization is a great thing. What people don't like it. And then we come all the way for 2 hours here. There's a machine gun. There's a people checking us. Oh God, is that a film or a prison? What is that? But when I joined the farm as a young global leader, I was thrilled by so many ideas. For the first 3 to 4 years, I learned what does globalization mean, what does cooperative citizenship mean, what does social responsibility mean, all these new ideas, and I see so many great leaders talking about leadership, and I benefited a lot. In the year 2008 and 9, when the financial crisis came, I think it's better to go back to work because we can never win the world by talking. So go back, spend 7 years. Now I came back, I think it's time to do something in return. I learned so much. It's 12 years ago. So why I should not be talking to the young global leader today, sharing with them how we've gone through. So that was the thing. Let's start with where you are today. Just how big is Alibaba? How many people come every day? How many people come in a week? How fast is it growing? Yeah, we have over 100 million buyers visiting our signed shop on our site every day. And we created our 100 million. We created our 14 million jobs for China directly and indirectly. And we grew from 18 people to 30,000 people, 18 people in my apartment to now we have 4 big campus. Compared to 15 years ago, we were big, but compared to 15 years later, we are still a baby. How big will you be 15 years from now? I think 15 years ago, I told my team that 15 years, in the past 15 years, we grow from nothing to this size. And 15 years later, I want people to see and know about Alibaba because it's already everywhere. I want 15 years ago when we talked about what is e-commerce, why small businesses can use this e-commerce, use the internet, can do business across the nation. And I hope 15 years later, people forget about e-commerce because we think it's like electricity. Nobody thinks it is a high-tech today. This is something that I don't want 15 years later. We still walk on the street talking about why and how e-commerce can help people. You try to get into 3 colleges. Each time they rejected. Now I tried. There is an examination that young people, if you want to go university, you have to take the examinations. So I failed 3 times, but I failed a lot. I failed for funny things. I failed a key primary school test 2 times, and I failed like 3 times for the middle school, and you will never believe in Hangzhou, my city, there's only one middle school that lasts only 1 year. It was changed from primary school to middle school. Our graduates of our school, no middle school accept us because we're too bad. it would become a middle school. What effect did it have, though, being rejected? Um, well, I think we have to get used to it. We're not good. Even today, we still have a lot of people reject us. I think when I when I graduate from universities, and before, for 3 years I tried and failed to get into university, so I applied to jobs for 30 times, got rejected. I went for police, they say no, you're not good. I went to, even the KFC, when KFC came to China, came to my city, 24 people went for the job. 23 people were accepted. I was the only guy. And we went for police. 5 people, 4 of them accepted. I was the only guy that never received it. So to me, being turned down, rejected. Oh, by the way, I told you that when I applied for Harvard, for 10 times rejected. I know I would be rejected. They're sorry for now. 10 times you wrote them and said, I'd like to come to Harvard. Yeah. And then I told myself someday I should go teach there. I think that can be arranged. Richard Nixon came to Hangzhou, and after that, tourists flooded the place. And that's how you learned English. Yeah, I really liked I don't know why, at 12, 13 years old, at that time, I suddenly fell in love with the language, English. And there's no place you can learn English at that time. There's no books, English books. So I went to the Hangzhou Hotel, now called Hangzhou Shangri-La Hotel, because that was the hotel that can receive the foreign visitors. So every morning for 9 years, I showed them around as a free guide, and they taught me English. And I think that changed me. Today, I'm 100% made in China. I never got one day's training outside of China. And when people talk to me and say, how can you speak English like that? Why do you sometimes talk like the Western guys? I think that was the 9 years. These Western tourists opened my mind because everything they told me was so different from the things I learned from the schools and from my parents. So now I have a habit. Whatever I see, whatever I read, I use my mind. Think about doing business. Is that about you? Mark Yun became Jack Ma. Actually, Jack, the name was given by a lady in tennis. She's a tourist. She came here and she said, came to Hangzhou. We came pen friends. Ma Yun is just so difficult to pronounce. So she said, do you have an English name? I said, no. Can you give me an English name? She said, okay. She said, my father's called Jack. My husband's called Jack. What do you think about Jack? I said, good. So I've been using that for many years. First visit to America in 1995. Yeah, I came here for project helping the local government to building a highway. And you tried the internet. I tried the internet in Seattle, and in a building called the U.S. Bank. I don't know whether U.S. Bank is still here or it's not a building. And my friend opened a small office, which is like only 10% bigger than this room, and there are a lot of computers in there. And he said, Jack, this is internet. I asked, what is internet? He said, search whatever you want. At that time, they used Mosaic, very slow. And I said, I don't use it. I don't want to type because computers so expensive in China. If I destroy it, I cannot pay. He said, just research it. So I searched the first word here. I don't know why, because it's easy to spell. And I see beers from Germany, beers from the US, beers from Japan, but there's no beer from China. And I say, okay, type the second word China. No data, nothing. And I say, nothing, 1990, no data about China. So I talked to my friends, why don't I make something about China? So we made a small, very ugly looking page called China. It's something like I did a translation agency and we are listed on there. It was so shocking We lunched at 9:40 in the morning. 12:30, I got a phone call from my friend who said, Jack, you got 5 emails. I said, what is email? And he said, these are the things. He said, people are so excited. Where are you? This is the first time I see a Chinese website on that. How can we do something together? So I think this is something interesting. So we should do it. Why did you call it Alibaba? Alibaba? Well, when I started, I think internet is global. We should have a global name, and a name that interesting like that at the time the best name was Yahoo. So I think I've been thinking for many days, and suddenly Alibaba is a good name. So I happened to be in San Francisco that day, and I had a lunch, and the waitress came. I asked her, "Do you know about Alibaba?" She said, "Yes." I said, "What is Alibaba?" She said, "Open Sesame." Good. So I ran down the street and asked 10, 20 people. They all know about Alibaba and the 40 Thieves and Open Sesame, and I think this is a good name. And it started with A, whatever we talk about, Alibaba was always on the top. You have said before that in creating Alibaba, you had to create trust. Yeah, because people in China were used to face to face. How did you create trust? I think because we started about doing business on the internet. I don't know you, you don't know me. So how can you do things online unless you have trust? So for e-commerce, the most important the thing was trust. I think when I first went to the US for raising money, talked to the venture capitalist, a lot of people say, "Oh, Jack, no. China doing business via currency. How can you do business on the internet?" And I know that without the trust of the system, the credit system, it's impossible to do business. So we every in the past 14 years, everything we do is trying to build up the trust system, the record system. Well, Charlie, I'm so proud today when I talk to young today in China and the world, people don't trust each other. The government and people and media and everybody thinks, oh, this guy is cheating. But because of e-commerce, we finished 60 million transactions every day. People don't know each other. I don't know you. I send products to you. You don't know me. You wire the money to me. And I don't know you. I give a person a package. I don't know him. He took something to sell across the ocean, across the river, and this is the trust. We have at least 60 million trust happening every day. But you created it by creating an escrow account in the beginning. And so you keep the money until you get the product, and then you release the money. Yep, that's true. I mean, the escrow service is about Alipay. When I this idea would love Davos because it was a big decision because for the 3 years of Alibaba is just like e-marketplaces for information. What do you have? What do you have? We talked a lot of times, but don't do any business because there was no payment. I talked to the banks. No banks wanted to do it. Banks said, no, this thing would never work. So I don't know what to do. Because if I start to launch a payment system, it's against the financial legal laws. Because you have to have a license. But if I don't do it, e-commerce would go nowhere. So then I went to Davos. I listened to a leadership discussion. Leadership is about responsibility. And after I listened to that panel, I gave a call to my friends, my colleagues in my apartment, say, do it now, immediately. If something's wrong, the government's not happy about that. If one body has to go to the prison, Jack Ma go to the prison. Because it is so important for China, for the world, to be able to trust system. And if you do not do it, I said, I do not do it properly, stealing money, money wash, no trust record, I send you to the prison. So I always say things and people don't like it. So many people talked to at that time for Alipay. They say this is the stupidest idea you have ever got. But I said, I don't need the stupid or clever as long as people use it. Now we have 800 million people using this Alipay. Stupid things, everybody is better. Alipay is a perfectly healthy thing, it's not part of Alibaba. Let me talk about money for a second. You have never gotten money from Chinese government? No, none. I want it in the beginning, later I don't want it because I think if the company always thinks about picking money from out of the government's pockets, that company is rubbish. Think about it. How can you make money from customers and market and then help customers succeed? That's our philosophy. No money from Chinese bank. No, at that time I want it and now they want to give me, I don't want it. Your relationship with the government. Yeah. What's your relationship? I mean, if they didn't, here's what some say that you have existed in an environment that's not, they have restricted competition for you. And that's a pretty good thing to do for a private company. Yeah, I think the relationship with the government first is very interesting for the first 5 years because I've been working at a part time job for a government organization called Ministry of Foreign Trade, 1997, for 14 months. And I learned that you should never rely on government organization to do e-commerce. And I started the business. I told my people in team in love with the government, but don't marry them. Respect them. And a lot of people say, well, government officers talking about internet censorship and this, that, and the worry about. I think it's the opportunity, it's a responsibility talking to them. Tell them how internet can help. So you tell them we create jobs. Oh yeah, I think a lot of people debate and fight against them. And in the first 12 years, anybody comes to my office, I sit down talking to them how we can help the economy, how we can create jobs, why China will improve by the internet. I think because the internet at that time was new to any government. And if you convince somebody and you have the chance. So today I'm very talkative. That probably this is why I talk to so many people. You are also seen in Hollywood. Yeah. What are you doing in Hollywood? Well, I like the Hollywood innovation, the digital. I learned so much about the Hollywood movies, especially the Forrest Gump. You love Forrest Gump. Why do you like him? Simple. Never give up. People thinking he's dumb, but he knows what he's doing. And I was very depressed the day in the year 2002 or 3 in the state when no, earlier than that. I was very depressed when I could not find out what a way for the internet. And then I watched the movie in my friend's home, Forrest Gump. When I saw him, I said, this is the guy we should learn from. Believe what you are doing, love it. Whether people like it or don't like it, be simple. I like the word life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get, right? I never know I would be here talking to you and talking to Charlie Rose. I never knew. But today I made it. I told my people in my apartment 15 years ago, guys, we have to work hard, not for ourselves. If we can be successful, 80% of the young people in China can be successful. Wouldn't have a rich father, powerful uncle, wouldn't have a $1 from bank, incentive from government, just work as a team. So what do you worry about? I worry about today, young people, a lot of young people lose hope, lose vision, and start to complain because we also have the same period because what I got is not a good feeling being rejected by so many people. We are also depressed, but at least later we find that the world has a lot of opportunities. How do you see the world? How you catch the opportunity? So, and Hollywood gave me a lot of inspiration. You're basically out there for business. You're out there because you want to make movies and sell them. I want to make the movie for business wise. We are an e-commerce company. We have a lot of product that need logistics. But movie, TV, these are things you don't need a logistic system, and movies are probably is the best product that can help Chinese young people to understand. Because one thing I told the Chinese people, my friends, in American movies, all the heroes at the beginning they look like a bad guy, but when terrible things come, they can become hero, and finally they all survived. China, if you're a hero, all the heroes died. So because only dead people becomes a hero, so nobody wants to be a hero. So you want to change the Chinese definition of a hero. Yes, I want to say hero. Today we have so many heroes living in this world. China today, are you worried the economy slowed down? No, I don't worry about it. I think China is slowing down is much better than keeping at 9%. China today is the second largest economy in the world. It's impossible to keep 9% of the growth. If China's to keep the 9% of the growth of the economy, there must be something wrong. You will never see the blue sky. You will never see the quality. China should pay attention to the quality of the economy. China should not. So if we have a lot of influence, like Hollywood movies, things, and we have sports and these things in the GDP, we much better. So I think just like a human grow, this body cannot grow. Sometimes the slow growth of a body is slow, but it should grow your mind, grow your culture, grow your values, grow your wisdom. I think China is moving in that direction. And you saw Modi in India? Pardon? Did you see Modi in India? Not yet. I'm looking forward to that. Oh, you go to India. Finally, there's this. You're one of the world's richest people. Your company is one of the world's richest companies. What do you want beyond Alibaba? Well, by richest people, I was told I was really not happy. In the past 3 months, when people say Jack Ma is the richest people of China, global celebrities they said, "No, I'm not. When I started a business, you are. I never thought, yeah, maybe I am now, but I think 15 years ago, my partner, my wife, was at that time one of the 18 founders. I asked her, do you want your husband to be a rich person? I never said rich person in China, rich person in Hangzhou. Or do you want your husband to be a respected person? She said, of course, respected. Because she never believed, and I don't believe we rich people. We just want to survive. I believe we have $1 million that your money. We have $20 million. You still have problems. You worry about inflation, which stock to buy, and this, that, and had it come. When you have $1 billion, that's not your money. That's the trust society is giving on you. They believe you can manage money, use the money better than the government and the others. So I think today I have the resources, do more things. With the money we have, with the influence we have, you should spend more time on the young people. And I would say, someday I'll go back to teach, go back to school, spend time with the young people, and telling and sharing with them what I've done. So the money is not mine. I just carry it happily, and having these resources, then I want to do a better job. Just tell them your story. Yeah, tell them the story, and tell them that if Jack, I don't think in this world a lot of people have been rejected more than 30 times. The only thing we should never give up, the only thing we're like a Forrest Gump, we keep on fighting, we keep on changing ourselves, we don't complain. Whether you are successful or you're not successful, I find that when they finish the job, if they made a mistake or they failed, if they always complain to the others, this guy will never come back. If the guy only checks himself, yeah, something's wrong with me here, something's wrong with me there, this guy has hope. Jack, on behalf of everybody in this audience and our television audience around the world, thank you for taking your time to be with us. Thank you.